It is a good day, guys. Health is wealth. I might head to the gym again early mornings, about a little bit after 5:30. But I just wanted to continue on in my series, Tales from the Gym. So this one I'm talking about vices. Yeah, some people are addicted to these. Some people are addicted to sex. Some people are addicted to alcohol, weed, whatever it may be. It's all a vice. It's a coping mechanism. And I'm no different. 2 Saturdays ago on the 18th, I gave up weed, guys. Hey, no shame in my game. You want to judge me? Throw them stones, throw them at me. But the Lord says, let him who is without sin throw the first stone. So, again, only God can judge me. Only God knows, um, what I've really been dealing with. My wife as well. But man, like I said, for 2 weeks, 2 years, sorry, I just been dealing with or self-medicating, I would say. Ever since Louisiana, Angela and I told you guys we experienced a real rough time. I was deployed, experienced just some relationship issues. While we were gone, nothing that me and her were fighting or anything like that, but just external. That just almost crushed her, almost crushed myself in the process. So in that, she received the help she needed and I didn't, and I was like, man, I got to make sure that I'm strong for her, make sure that I'm holding up the family, and doing everything I'm supposed to do. And I just, put everything down deep, man, covered it up and everything. And that was really when I was heavy into alcohol again. But, of course, I'm still in the military, so really that was the only way I could really self medicate. Not really in the pills or anything like that. Um, so I was just all on alcohol and stuff. But that's not what I'm talking about. I finally kicked that to the curb shortly, yeah, in 2020. Haven't really had a drink since then. A little cup here or a drink here every now and then, but really, nothing like I was in the past. So anyway, today marks the where we're at, almost 3 weeks since I haven't had a hit it at that Mary Jane, that grinning green, whatever you want to call it, that broccoli, all that stuff. And I wasn't really ever in the weed, and before I joined the military as a kid, growing up, teenager, I tried it once or twice, and I just really didn't like the way it made me feel. But coming when I retired, my body's kind of broken, and my back especially, and just my mind. I was like, man, I'd rather try this. They're claiming, it has all these benefits and it helps the body, the mind, and everything. I'd rather do this than be hooked on opiates and all this stuff. And that's the majority of people to this day, veterans and is regular people. So what I did was, I got my marijuana card, my 329 card, whatever you want to call it. It started in Oklahoma, and from there it just progressed on to Hawaii, and up until recently. And from day one, it caused a strain in our relationship and my marriage, because Angela, she comes from a background of just drug using her family. But again, I was just thinking about myself, and I didn't really care, so to say. I was like, man, I do this and that for the family. I at least deserve one thing. Again, that's the mind telling you, oh, you deserve it. Go ahead and do it. So anyway, it just caused so much drama. I had to really just go hide and smoke. Had to go, away from the house. And even when I came back, I tried to, put cologne on me, little oils and all that stuff in my beard. So, she wouldn't be able to tell. How stupid is that? But yeah, she could tell, of course, your eyes is like, half closed, and, you just kind of out, zoned out. But, being the great wife she is, she never really said anything, man, until I was in our room. And, had some weed and stuff, and I was kind of breaking it up and everything, just saving it to, just roll up for later use. And she came in there, and first she didn't say anything, and then she came back, with tears all in her eyes, and she was like, how could you be just so disrespectful to bring this in our house? And man, I tell you, it just broke me, but not enough to make me want to quit. Um, I from that point I didn't bring it in the house anymore, but at the same time, I was just still just so dependent on it, every day, morning, noon, night, everything, and it was just got to the point to where it just had this, claws in me. And the Lord was speaking to me several times to give it up, and I was like, God, Lee, man, come on, let me have something. But man, I'll tell you, at church, we were there for a younger adults conference. Again, I'm in my 40s, 43, and only reason that me and Angela were there is that we were just driving around the guest pastor, Pastor Jeff Osborne, and he was speaking, and it was towards the end of the service, and he just got up on stage and said, anybody that has those crystals, those eye, whatever you call those things, the all-seeing eye, all this stuff. Speaking to the young adults, he said, you guys bring that stuff up here. I had experience with my daughter. He had experience with his daughter who was wearing one, and just, you had to go search his social media to hear the story. But, all the kids started bringing that stuff up there, and they brought it on stage and just started smashing it and just freeing themselves from that. You could just sense the freedom in the building. And, all the time the Lord was speaking to me. Now, mind you, I had, weed in my car at church, in my little bag, my smell-proof bag. And I was like, well, if I go out there and get it, because people were bringing up vapes, marijuana, and all that stuff. And I was like, well, if I go get my stuff, I probably missed a moment. But the Lord said, you got that card in your wallet, go up on stage and take that. So without hesitation, guys, and I talked about this before, we can't, when God says to do something, we cannot, reason. We just got to obey and do it. So at the same time, I got up there, I was the last person, and I'll post a video too of me going up there and just giving it up. But I got it there, and I said, ain't no shame in my game, and I took it out, got my knife, and I just proceeded to cut it up. And man, I could just sense just something lifting off me, and put it in the little basket they had. And the other guest pastor, Pastor Josiah Silver, he was like, hey, can I pray for you? And one thing that he said was that God needed you to do this, because once you release that from your hand, he's going to release something from his hand for you. And man, I tell you guys, he prayed for me, and the spirit is real. You see how people just fall out and everything. I remember those Benny Hinn days when he just be whipping his coat around, people be falling out and stuff. And that's just theatrics right there, man. And I was like, man, I had my hands up. He put his hand on my head, and once he did, I felt something. But I was like, okay, I'm still standing. I'm good to go. Man, all of a sudden, man, I just fell out, and I was just still awake, still there, but at the same time, man, it was just me, you know what I'm saying, and the Lord. I just felt him, just like I do when I'm here in the mornings working out, getting after it. I just feel his presence in here, talking to me and everything. Hey, but anyway, I gave it up. Angela, she was in the crowd. I didn't see her. I was just focused on what he told me to do. She came up to me, man, gave me the best hug ever. And from that moment on, it's just been free. I haven't had a thought for it, haven't had a taste for it or anything, man. I just credit that to God, credit that to obedience, and just being able to be honest and truthful with myself. So I ask you guys, if you're ever dealing with something that you need to give up, that is causing strife and just drama between you and your loved ones, what you waiting for, man? Just go ahead and do it. Has those lights, they're on a sensor. But at the same time, just do it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Again, I got more to share. I'm gonna post that video, but I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. But hey, just get up there and do it. It's all good. No judgment from me. Let's get after it.